So I ended the last episode talking about resolutions for this year. So already I have started work on transcribing the podcast so far. Plus I'm working on a logo as well.
This train is for London Liverpool Street.
So these are the concepts I've got so far. I don't know, man. What do you think? And it's really hard because you know that every logo must start off feeling foreign. You know, like when they first designed the Adidas one, somebody must have gone, huh? Don't get it. But after a while, those symbols become aligned to a brand, right? So started the day with getting the flu jab, which was nice. To be honest, you should really have the flu jab in like September, October, November, rather than at the end of winter. But when I was having it done, the woman said that the usual pre-Christmas peak of flu hadn't happened and they were still expecting it to happen. So it's hopefully not a waste. If you are a freelancer and you don't get the flu jab, then I would seriously consider it. Like here in the UK, it costs less than a tenner. And if you've never had proper flu, then you probably think flu is just a cold. When in fact, flu will put you in bed. No matter how strong and healthy you might think you are, you will end up in bed. And you might think, no, I'll carry on working. You won't. Your body forces you to go to bed. You can't do anything. So if you're self-employed, literally you can't afford to get flu. Having lunch and going through the next round of logos, these were the ones I showed you on the train, and I sent some feedback and I really mulled them over, and actually the more I see them, the more they grow on me. But anyway, we decided to take this one as a jumping off point, but I gave loads of feedback and actually I'm really happy with what they've come back with. You can see how we've taken the circles from one of the logos, but also the idea of a frame, because I'm conscious of it having to work within a, you know, like a Twitter circle or YouTube or Facebook or whatever. You know, you need it to be kind of like square, circle shape. Also, I quite like the idea of these potentially animating, be it on video or in a GIF. And you can imagine having faces appear on the website, for example. And I quite like this one. But again, what I like about this one is the idea of animating this as a GIF. And this desk turning maybe into a beach, turning into a kitchen, a cat walking across, of course. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, though, I'm feeling much... Susie? I just had a tuna sandwich and I don't trust her. There's a bowl of tuna sweet corn still sitting out there. Yeah, so overall, I feel much better about it today. I think we're getting there. Another version of the potential new logo. What's quite good now is that I'm kind of getting to the point where now when I see a new one, I'm thinking, oh no, actually, maybe I do like this one. Do you know what I mean? And you know, one interesting thing of doing, you know, this rebranding experience, I guess, is that yet again, it's given me experience of being the client. I've sort of said this before. I like it when I'm the client and I get to see the way somebody else works, like the questionnaire that they sent me beforehand, the way they've wrapped up their concept briefs so professionally and stuff. And also, for that matter, just for tone of their communication. Like sometimes I will work with somebody and they're a bit offish. That's it, I won't work with them again. Whereas this person has been like a pleasure to work with and is positive and has energy and seems eager to be part of the project. Oh my gosh, I just went for a really grim run. Although there is something about running in the cold and the rain that, you know, makes you feel like you deserve the fish and chips that you just bought. By the way, something I noticed, like basically every time before I invite a guest onto the podcast, I check them out, I research them, I look at their website, I look at them on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is that they're using. And today I found somebody who seemed like a really great freelancer to speak to. And she had a great story in her about page and seemed to do lots of travelling while working. And then I just happened to notice that the copyright thing at the bottom of her website said 2015. Now, I can excuse that because many of us forget to update those things if it's not done automatically. But yeah, it just kind of stuck in my head, and then I clicked through to her Twitter and that hadn't been updated since 2016. And then I went back to her website and looked at her blog, and there were no blog posts since 2015. And at that point I thought, maybe she's not in business anymore, maybe she's not doing this anymore. And that was my conclusion. I never reached out to her, and that was the end of it. But what if she is? What if in fact she's so busy that she doesn't have time for blogging? Know what that feels like. What if she's not a fan of Twitter but left it on her website? Do you see what I'm saying? Just make sure that whatever is on your website is up to date, and that if you haven't posted to your blog in 3 years, then maybe you might want to consider just removing the blog from visible sight. If you're not using Facebook for your business, then don't bother having Facebook on your website. You want to give the impression to potential clients that you are still in business and that you are active and doing things. However you get that across. And speaking of things to do, I've got to get Dan Bremmel's episode up. Please do listen, because he's such a nice guy and it's a really good story. And speaking of being active, I'm going to try and do a 10k on Sunday, which there's no way I could have done a few weeks ago. It's funny, it's like you do a little bit every day and yeah, you really make a lot of progress.